Yay!
It's
We're
showtime.
back.
We're back. Hey guys, Amber Coleman and Laci Cerrone here. We are super happy to be back. It's been a little while since we've done a live stream. I was out of town. She was out of town. We were kind of having a life a little bit.
Vacations happened,
We
right?
actually allowed ourselves both to have vacations this
Yeah.
year, but we've missed you. We're super
Yes,
happy to be
we
back.
have.
So we're super excited. We're going to go live today and talk about WTF, what the is going on in the real estate industry here in Las
Please, let's
Vegas.
talk about
There
it.
is so much to discuss, but I want to remind you before we get going, this is for you. We do these live streams for you. So if you have questions for us about anything, favorite pizza in Vegas, who does my awesome hair, rates or mortgage or whatever, all the stuff related to what we're talking about, please drop it like it's hot in the comment box below. We're happy to answer those at the end of our segment today. But today we're going to run through a couple things. I'm going to give you a rundown so you know what to expect, because sometimes we just jump in. We're going to run through.
We got notes today.
We got notes. We're super organized because there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about market stats, give you a quick hot take on what's going on. We're going to jump in and show you some year-over-year comparisons so you can see kind of really visually what's happening in the market. We're going to kind of give you some advice on what we would be doing if we were you. Going to give it to you straight, as we always do. We always bring you honesty with a little bit of hope attached to it, right?
We'll never give up the hope.
We're never going to give up hope.
There.
Yeah. And so we're going to do all those things. And then we're going to give you some tips, talk about the current inventory, just really go through the whole shebang. And I don't know, maybe we'll talk about some free money and some other cool things that are happening, some success stories. We're just here for you. We want to share good news and some truth, which also happens to be good news sometimes as well. So what do you think, Amber?
Love it. Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
I missed you, girl.
I missed you too. Listen, I was in Europe for a couple of weeks. I don't even know what day it is anymore. So I'm hoping jet lag looks pretty good on me, I think.
Are you still jet lagged right now?
A little bit. And I don't know how that's possible, but yes, I am a little bit.
It takes a minute.
Thank you guys for joining us. If you are here, please just say hi to us in the comment box. We're super grateful, as always, that you showed up. So, all right, let's talk about the market. Let's just jump in. I'm going to give my hot take on the market.
Okay, I'm excited for your hot take. Let's do it.
My hot take right now is, as we've seen over the last several months, there are definitely less buyers on the market, largely due to interest rates and also just inflation and just the fear that's out there. People are, everything just pull back and hold your coin purse, right? Beyond that, there's also many buyers that are on the market taking advantage of a lot of things like free money programs, which we'll talk about in a minute, some incentives that are being offered by some of the builders, some more negotiability, I guess, when it comes to offering on homes that are listed, which is really great. Prices are steady. I know you all are sitting there waiting and hoping, when are the prices going to drop? We'll talk about why that's not happening in a minute. And honestly, the luxury market's been kind of slow, kind of slim trimming for us.
Does it take a while for the luxury homes to sell?
Yeah. The luxury market is, they're sitting, if they're really nicely upgraded and they're like a beautiful house that you couldn't say no to, they sell pretty quickly. But yeah, they're sitting for a minute. Yeah,
to me,
the luxury
that's like music to my ears, because you can go in and ask for stuff.
Yeah, that's honestly, that's how I feel. So we're seeing a lot of the builders try to wheel and deal on some standing inventory, which is great.
Oh, they're willing and dealing now.
Willing and dealing a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. So there's deals to be had. We're never going to tell you to buy or force you to buy if you're not ready, but we're always going to be very hopeful that this might be an opportunity to, be greedy while others are fearful, right? What is that? Is that Warren Buffett?
Yeah, be greedy while others are fearful. Be fearful while others are greedy. I think right now is a good time to be greedy while
everyone's
fearful.
Scared. Yeah. Everybody's scared. So we want you to be greedy and take advantage of some of these things. Now, it does feel a little daunting. I want you to talk about what's happening on your side of the market with all the news and everything happening with rates. So I'm going to jump it over to you. But just know that it doesn't matter what's going on out here. It matters one-to-one what's happening with your situation. And I think the biggest message I want to get across is, so many people make decisions on their own life based on what's happening with everyone else, instead of actually taking the time to talk to me, talk to Amber, reach out directly and have a conversation one-to-one with an expert who can look at your specific information and make a decision and help you move forward. So just keep that in mind. If you're interested in talking to us, we are happy to talk to you. Our number is scrolling at the bottom of that screen. So please make sure you give me a text, give me a call, or fill out the form in the description below. Okay.
And it doesn't hurt to call.
Yeah, we don't care when you call. Call now. I don't care when.
All we're going to do is work a game plan. Like you said, you could buy today, tomorrow, or 10 years from now. We're still willing
That's
to talk.
right, baby. So, tell me your hot take on the market.
Okay, so my hot take, well, let's talk about a couple things really fast.
Okay.
So the one thing that I'm hearing a lot of people have a hard time with is down payment, right? So some people hold back from calling me because they're having a hard time with down payments. So we're going to talk about some things to overcome that in a little bit.
Awesome.
And I mean, honestly, I went and filled up my gas tank the other day in Las Vegas, and it was pretty expensive. Yeah. If you go to the grocery store, it's pretty expensive. Yeah. So I get that a lot of the excess money that you could have in your household might not be being spent on savings right now. It might be being spent, right, just to live. So
and I went to Europe, and the gas there versus here, woo, man, I could not believe it.
High?
It was so low. No, it was so much lower than here out
Europe's
there. I mean, I wasn't driving, but where I was in Europe, I was like, now it is by the liter though, so I probably should have done the math. Maybe that's why. Yeah. Never mind, I probably did the math wrong. But anyway, I was just super like just surprised to come back and see it so high here. Sorry, that dumb blonde moment. Go ahead. Sorry. Damn it, I was trying to correlate to that story and it didn't work out.
The liter and the euro too, right?
Jesus. Anyway, now euro we can talk about later, but go ahead. So when you talk about people having a hard time saving, you're seeing them spend obviously money on all the things around us.
It's becoming harder and harder to spend. So there are ways around that, and we'll talk about it. But I want to go into the market really fast.
I'm such an idiot sometimes. I'm sorry.
I love your blonde
at least
moment.
I'm not afraid to be a dumb blonde sometimes,
I
right?
love it. I love
I'll admit it.
I love who you are, no matter what. Okay, on
keep
camera,
talking.
off camera,
keep going. Keep going.
Okay, so the market, right? So the feds right now are controlling everything.
Yeah.
So like the last Fed meeting that happened, people were excited, like, yay, they didn't raise rates again. It's almost like they do more damage when they don't raise rates than when they do raise rates.
Because like the sentiment, right?
So here's what I always say to people. Well, it depends on the tone of Jerome's voice. Really.
Good old pal Jerome.
If he's talking mean, then the market's going to take it, oh crap, he's hawkish, right? And if he's talking nice, then they're going to call it dovish, right? So like the way that he spoke, the narrative after that meeting is rates are going to be higher for longer. That's the narrative. And that narrative is stuck for, I think it's been over 2 weeks now since the meeting was over. So it's stuck for a while. And then what happens too with the feds, the feds control two things. They raise the rates for like short-term loans. Mm-hmm. And they also have done something called quantitative easing for a long time. Mm-hmm. So they're putting back a large sum of money into mortgage-backed securities or any treasuries, and they can pull back. So right now they're doing what's called a runoff on that, where they're pulling back. So when we see rates go up, there's a pullback, right?
I'm going to just give you one more blonde moment. Anytime somebody says quantitative easing, I think of Quantum Leap, that show that was like famous in the 80s and 90s. And I go down the path of that. Scott Bakula was his name.
Why you're like, your mind
you see my face?
Going,
I went, I remember that show.
You were thinking of the cute guy?
Yes, Scott Bakula. But I totally know I do know what she's talking about. I just had a moment. Oh, I'm jet lagged, guys. Give me a minute.
I love it.
So all of what you just explained is really what is impacting all of what you're talking about.
So everything. So like you look at the markets, and if you look at the markets, you're like, what's going on? And some days I do too, but then I have to look at like a common sense way and say, okay, gas prices are going up. Gas prices lead to higher inflation, and higher inflation leads to higher rates, right? Because all of that affects it. One thing affects another. So
it's right domino now, effect around all of it.
It looks like a bit of a storm when it comes, and it has been for a little bit. Yeah. But the higher we get, the faster we're going to go down.
Is that what is that? It's like what goes up must come down.
Well, because when we hit recession, like everything I'm reading today that has to do with like the market, right? Then the next thing is now the probability of a recession is higher. It's higher. It's higher. Everything I'm reading is saying that. So once recession hits, then they always kind of
they have to correct themselves.
Correct it by using the housing market to do so. Right. So that's when you're going to see things happening. And then like I always say, like the 6% interest rate is the new 4, and then 5% interest rate is the new 3, right? Like so like when those rates start hitting again, that's when everybody, the 4 to 6 million people that are off
on
like
the fence,
waiting
man,
because they can't qualify or whatever, then they come out to buy at that point. So then the prices go up.
So I think that's first of all, thanks for that hot take and for allowing me to interrupt it 19 times. I'm definitely a little loopy from the flights, but I think it's really important to note that like I think so many people get it in their mind that like they're just going to wait to your point. They're going to wait until things drop, or that you will never do well by doing that. That for me, where we've seen the biggest successes with our clients has been the ones who go, I got to buy a house. I'm not going to rent. I don't want to pay rent. I want to have something. If I have to pay a little bit higher, I will. If I have to do a finagling game plan with Amber, I will. But I need to just get something with my name on it. Mm-hmm. When things change, I'll figure out how to take advantage of it then. And the reason that makes them and puts them in such a better position is because they aren't fighting against everybody else and overpaying in a bigger way out of pocket. Mm-hmm. It's just such an interesting thing that people I think don't really think about, is that like really, you can absolutely take advantage of the market right now. Layer in grants if you qualify for them, layer in really great loan programs that are unique and cool that we talk about on this channel. And then sit and wait with a smile on your face, knowing that you're still at least paying yourself every month for that mortgage until things change, or you can, and when they come down, then you just do a refi or you do whatever it is you're supposed to do. Right.
Yeah. Plus, I think that a lot of people are weighing the future based off of the past. Right.
Yeah. And this is,
so a lot of people, like,
not the same.
Even today, I saw an article that I was looking at that said, like, the bond, which controls rates, ultimately the 10-year treasury bond, that is at the highest level for 15 years. Well, when you look back 15 years, that's when we were all going through a little bit of a hard time. So they're saying, okay, it's going to happen the same as what it did back then, but we didn't have an inventory problem back then. So we can't weigh what happened back then with now. And I would be the first to say, if I was worried about that, I would say it, but I lived through that. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't fun. I know I've told my story. I lived through that, and I'm not seeing it. I think that what we're going to be dealing with in the future is totally different.
Now, so all of that being said, we know that rates are high, and everybody's, oh my God, the rates. We get it. We know. Doesn't mean your specific situation has to look like that for a variety of reasons. But with that being said, let's talk about some positive things about the free money programs that are out there that are almost bleeding money, wanting to give it away because there's there's less buyers on the market. I cannot talk today. There's less buyers on the market that aren't taking advantage of those programs.
Well, they are begging. There's a couple different things too. So a lot of people are using those kind of programs, the grants, because again, it's harder to save. So if it's been harder, don't feel embarrassed. Let's just work out a game plan and let's just, okay, let me look at your situation and say, we can fit this grant, this grant, this grant. You have to buy in this area, or you can buy anywhere depending on what grant you fit into, because the grants they're spending less money right now. And some of these grants, the ones that have like the going rate that haven't raised the rate, to give you back the money, those grants, they're saying that we have all this money, and if we don't use it, we have to give it back to the state.
And some of them are upping what they're giving out, right?
They have, So
it's getting juicier for those that can qualify.
Yeah, like one grant was $15,000. It was in specific areas of town, or like the rural areas. And they jumped it up to 25,000 because they don't want to give it to the state.
They don't want to give the money back, right? So it's a use it or lose it mentality. So now they're like, so whoever signs up now gets to take advantage of this new hot offer or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I've been noticing too, and it's not been a ton, but we've got a lot of buyers, I'll be very honest, that have been lured in to move to the new home communities to buy new homes, which is great. We would love for everybody to get whatever they want. But the new home communities are doing kind of a little sneaky thing right now where they're marketing that they will buy down your rate and give you all these incentives and everything's great and fantastic and wonderful, which pulls you into then working with their lending team, and which is not always great. Let me just be very honest, but which is great. So if it works out and you are the absolute qualified candidate for that, it's wonderful. But the problem is what's happening is it gets clients fixated on, I want a new home. And then when they realize what they need to be and do to qualify for those awesome incentives they're offering, it's a big letdown. And then they just get deterred and don't want to buy at all. So what I've seen happen a couple times, which has been really beautiful, is the people who go to try to take advantage of that are realistic about that process and realize, okay, I didn't qualify for them to buy my rate down. Okay, that was too good to be true. Being at least still head in the game and coming back to the table, working with Amber and saying, okay, you're talking about all these grant programs. Let's work a game plan and see if I might qualify. So that like you can almost do the same thing on this side if you qualify to really get a good deal. So it's apples and it's apples and oranges, but you can really kind of make them look like each other at some point. But a lot of people are getting deterred by that process because they get fixated on it and then they get just let down and then they think they can't buy it all. Just because they're advertising these awesome incentives doesn't mean you're going to qualify. In fact, it's very rare for you to actually qualify because they're so strict. So please keep your head in the game and start here with Amber so that you can at least see and weigh the pros and cons of both and maybe take advantage of some of these bigger grant programs and get more money in that way.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Perfect.
We've seen people doing that a ton. So
it has been. Yeah.
What's some of the other things that we've seen with the new home builders?
Well,
like appraisals, I know was something that was coming up.
Here's what's happening. I mean, and again, don't ever lose hope when you're talking to another lender. So if they tell you no, like I talked to one last week that the builder lender said no. And then I talked to him and I was like, why are they saying no? Mostly it's because the builder lenders are so overworked. They're missing stuff. Yeah, because they have so little people that work there and so many loans that are coming in that they might be missing.
Let me just say really quickly, Amber's one of the top 200 lenders in the nation. I'm going to say that very loudly because I'm very proud that we get to work together. I cannot even count, because it's too many, the number of people that have gone to other lenders throughout the nation, gone to banks, gone to credit unions, gone to a builder, gone to whoever, a non-creative, maybe lazy, maybe unqualified, I don't know, lender who just point blank said no, and they thought they couldn't buy a home, and then went to her and you went, I'm scratching my head trying to figure out why they would ever say no to you. So I just love that you've been able, that you don't take no for an answer very often.
Well,
I don't think you've ever taken no for an answer.
You know what?
And, what was that? I don't know. I don't think you've ever taken no for an answer. But for me, it's just super important that people understand that, like, you know, working with someone who's honest, who's a dog with a bone that wants to get you that loan is so, so important. Incentives and all these wonderful big things that are in the air are great, but are they going to really get it done? Are they going to be able to actually qualify you? Are they going to make you lose hope? Like, it's a mental game and a financial game that you're getting into when you buy a home. So just, anyway, I just thought I'd share that. Top 200 in the nation right here. Okay. So talk to me about the appraisal stuff, because I'm really interested in understanding what's going on with that.
Okay. So you mean like when it pertains to like new builds?
Any appraisal stuff at all? I know there's been some appraisal, but basically new builds. Yeah.
Okay. So on a new build, the builder actually sets the appraisals, in that when you're getting when you're buying a house, they have to sell a couple first, right? But then they know the value of the house because the appraiser's going in and asking them for the comparables to show what they've sold the house for. So as they're paying all these incentives to bring down rates, they're also bringing their prices up too. I talked to one builder and they said that their prices rose, I think it was $38,000 this year. For, you know, for like, just because of what's happening in the market. And if they're the only game in town, then they're going to.
Now, some will wheel and deal on those new home, the quick move-in ones, because they're like, it's sitting on the books, they want to get it off. Yeah. But overall, from a neighborhood perspective, we're seeing some of that uptick for sure.
So the first few people that buy, or the first couple people that buy anytime the house prices go up, could be dealing with like short appraisals, and then you have to pay for the difference because they're giving you all the incentives for it. And then after that happens, as they keep that same price, then everybody else will come in clean because two people were the good Samaritans there, and they paid overappraised value to do it until hot prices raise again, and then you'll need some more good Samaritans to pay for it. So just keep in mind, rate is great because honestly they're given really good rates that nobody else can compete with, because they're buying them before,
if you qualify,
and they're buying them before like you would even come to the house. They're buying them in blocks, so the rate is good. If you go to a builder lender, if you can qualify, you're in a way better place to use their lender. Just being straight up honest with you.
And that takes money out of her pocket to say that, so I want to make that very clear to you. Like, we're always going to bring you honesty. With that said, there's opportunity for it to not work out in many, many ways. And appraisal is one of them.
And appraisal could be one of them, or you might not fit within their tight guidelines. You might be working with somebody who's just overworked and they don't have time to even think. So they'll see one thing and then kick you out for it, when that might not be the case. I've even worked with builder lenders to say, dude, you just have to do this, this, and this.
Yeah, she's basically to educating be able to help somebody throughout
get
the years.
It through, but I don't make anything that way.
So with that said, though, that's why we always are saying, like, start with me, start with us. Let's let us get a really good game plan going with you. If it ends up that you go that route because it works out for you, we're always going to send you off and say, happy, great, wonderful. But do not, under any circumstances ever, go directly to the builder yourself. You will give up and forfeit your right to have representation of any kind to help you if there's issues with the build, if there's issues with the foundation, if there's problems with the close date. You give up that right when you don't walk in with a realtor. So start with me. I'm going to make you talk to Amber because she's awesome anyway, and you're going to be friends. You're going to love her. But then beyond that, we'll package it up. And there's been a few times that we've had to say, you know what? Okay, you're still working with me. Sadly, it didn't work out over here. But then there's been other times where you've saved the deal multiple times over because of the fact that the lender's either overwhelmed or you couldn't qualify. Then we came back over here and we were able to work something else out. So you don't have to use the new builder's lender to buy a new home. Let's just be very clear about that. So you can buy a new home and use Amber. You can buy a resale home and use Amber. And you can do all of it with me. So there's that. I wanted to show some stats, guys, because one of the biggest questions that people are asking me is, why are the prices not dropping? We see little bumps here, little shaves here, up and down. It's an easing, right? But the main thing, and that I don't know if you're aware of this. We talk about it. I don't know if you know what it really means. But inventory is the issue. In a lot of ways, good and bad, right? Inventory is helping us keep our value for the homes steady. So I'm going to show you some stats here. I'm going to give you like a year over year comparison. So this is 2022. I can't tell if it's 2022 or 2023. I think it's 2023. So this is right now. August is the most recent information that we have. The single family median home price is $450 for units sold in August of 2023. 481 for listings. So people are listing for 481. They're having to do a little negotiation, whatever. Oh, sorry. This is last year. 2022, 4 months of availability, meaning 4 months worth of
same time last year,
year over year, apples to apples, one over one. 4 months of homes available on the market. So even with that many homes available to buy, the prices were there. Now, let me show you this year. Prices are very similar. 447 eased down a little bit, 478 eased down a little bit, but 1.9 months of availability.
Dang.
Which means we went from having all kinds of houses to choose from to almost
I remember
nothing.
October of last year, we saying this is the sweet spot.
Juicy, crunchy granola. We were talking about it a year ago. So it's right here in front of your eyes. Look,
and the prices
are very
adjusted, but by a few dollars.
Very slightly adjusting. Now you can see even the number of units sold is sort of similar.
Go back to the other one.
So this is 2022 and this is 2023.
Dang, that is very similar.
But
the amount,
the effective availability is, nil. So the point that I'm trying to make to you guys is, the question and comment that I'm getting from a lot of clients is, oh, I'm just going to wait for the prices to fall. They can't stay this high forever. They can't stay. They're, even with high rates and way, way less buyers on the market, they've stayed. Now, again, we've seen easing and we've seen a little bit of a correction, and thankfully, because we didn't want you guys overpaying for anything. Last year, August, we had already started to see that correction happening. So we're comparing it to that. But just please know, like, you sitting on the sideline saying, I'm just going to wait till the prices drop and everything crashes and houses are $47,000 is not a very smart decision. Yeah. If you want to say, I want to wait until rates hit this, cool. Call us in advance. Let us get you dialed in so that when the rates hit that, you're not starting from scratch and being able to and fighting against everybody else who's taking up everyone's time, right? So for me, I'm a big believer in planning, having relationships set in stone, ready to go, rock and roll, so that when you're ready, you make the phone call and you jump in right feet first into the pool versus, hi, now I'm kind of thinking about moving. Oh, Amber, okay, Amber, send you all the, and then it's a month later and you've missed that moment that you could have taken advantage of. So you can try to time the market or not. We'll stand by you with whatever you want to do. But what we don't encourage you to do is to wait to reach out to us. Would you agree?
Yeah, because the inventory is really... The inventory and the feds, they control it all right now.
Now, one of the other reasons, I'm going to tell you what today's inventory is as of today, but one of the reasons that the inventory is also so low is that hedge funds came in and wiped us out.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what you have to say about
Absolutely. that. Investors and hedge funds like Red Rock, BlackRock, and all these other people came in during the boom, during the COVID. Everybody's buying a house because money is free. Why wouldn't they have done that? And they bought up. It says investors and hedge funds currently own roughly 80,000 single-family homes in Clark County, which is about 14% of our entire housing stock. That means they're not going to let those go. They're going to hold and rent them out or do whatever. That's money makers.
80,000 single family. I pulled a report and it was almost 30% of people owned it free and clear, but they own half of that.
Yeah.
Dang. And they're renting them to people.
So I wonder
what their plan is.
Normally those people might be selling or moving or whatever, but those are owned not by people, they're owned by companies and banks. So they don't need to sell them.
They know they can make a lot of money off this housing market.
And we've watched the rental market. I don't even want to talk about the rent right now is so stupid. It just makes me so upset because people are reaching out saying, I want to move to Vegas. I'm so excited. I've been watching your channel for 5 years. Now's my time. Here's my budget. And I'm like, oh, if you were here 3 years ago, that would have been fine. Not anymore. Where people are almost paying the same to rent as they are to buy. And so that's the conversation we're trying to have with people is we get it. Rates are not pretty. We get it that, things are not great and inflation's happening. But if you're paying what you're going to pay in rent almost the same as what you would maybe pay for your house, depending on your budget and all those things, that doesn't make sense for us to encourage you to continue to rent if you could be paying yourself that, because we know that once you have it in your name and you're paying yourself, the minute things get better, you're going to be able to take advantage of it much faster. So this is not a beating the drum, please buy a home today. We don't care, buy a house or don't.
We're just comparing it from renting to buying.
Yeah.
I mean, when rents go up, if rents were still low, we'd be in a different place, but they're not. They're super high.
No, I don't see an increase in inventory anytime soon because the people who aren't hedge funds that do own those homes are all sitting on a pretty 2.3%. And why would they sell their home and pay more to buy something else? Right. So
I would bet it's about 50%.
It's absolutely a very
have that 2 point something.
Yeah.
Even when I
think
see
it's 40 actually.
Is it 40%? But then there's another 30% that own it free and clear. So there's only a very small amount of people can sell.
We're working with a very slim area of people, slim opportunity for people who may have the, mobility to sell their home, whether it's paid off or whatever. So that's going to keep inventory sticky and low for a long time as well. So as long as that inventory number doesn't change, our prices are not going to be dropping. It's just not going to happen. The inventory being low, or unless there's zero buyers on the market, and that would be the only other reason. But God forbid that would ever. I don't know why. People need a place to live, so I'm assuming that's not going to happen. You got to have a roof
over your head. Yeah.
The other thing that's happening is now hedge funds are smart. They're watching the market, and they were in it to win it with that candy cane, free money, sugar rush money a couple years ago, right? They pulled back and have not been buying as much, right? They're putting their money in other things. They're being conservative, like most of us are. So that's another opportunity for someone who needs to buy, wants to buy, needs to move, needs a place to live, all the things I just mentioned, to be greedy while others are being fearful. Everyone's pulling back. Why not dip in? Just look at what it looks like. You don't have to buy if we run the numbers. You don't have to do anything, but see if it's comfortable enough for you to go, I'm okay with that for right now, because I know I can always make it better because everything that goes up must come down, hopefully, right? Not prices, maybe within low inventory, but like rates. I don't know.
Rethink that. With that, no, we're hoping that applies to rates.
We're hoping that applies to rates and everything. We hope. But with that being said, you're still in it to win at that point. And when there's less buyers on the market and less banks to compete with, another opportunity for you to come in and actually make that dream come true. So we're, again, always going to share the truth, always going to tell you there's all kinds of beautiful incentives. There's always a lot of other realtors you could work with. All those things are great. A lot of lenders, all those wonderful things, but we're always going to be honest, but we always want to bring the hope and let you guys know that it is possible. This is not doom and gloom, especially when you're working with people who don't take no for a freaking answer. And anybody that's I've ever had a relationship with, or all my friends and my business partner, anybody in my life knows I don't take no for an answer either.
The no doesn't come very well.
Doesn't come very well for me. So anyway, so I wanted to just share those stats with you guys. I'm going to let you know right now we have 5,729 single family homes on the market.
That's better than I've heard it before, though.
Well, last time we looked, it was about a month ago, it was 4,000. So we're seeing a little bit of an increase, but it is not spiking upward. But again, it has to go back to like a 3 or 4 month or 5 or 6 month mark in terms of inventory available for really any big movement. That's my take.
Well, that's even just to be on not a seller's market.
Correct.
So to be completely opposite of that, you'd have to be at like 20,000. 23,000, I think, is the height of the houses that are on the market when you're having problems.
And then I want to talk about sellers for 1 second, and then I want to jump in and answer your guys' questions. It looks like we've got a lot of activity, so thank you guys for being here. Yes. Drop it like it's hot if you got any questions for us. If you just tuned in, rewind it. This is juicy, crunchy stuff. You don't want to miss it, of course. But when it comes to selling your home in Las Vegas, we're actually getting, when people are wanting to sell, we're getting a lot of people reach out to us to help them sell. Not only did they know that we have this channel and all those wonderful things to help them be more visible, but they understand that we have access to all of you amazing buyers. What we're telling our sellers, and I think a lot of other realtors are starting to get their heads around it as well, is it may seem and feel like a seller's market, but with less buyers, it's going to be a slow roll. So I'm not seeing people buy down rates as much anymore for you. Like sellers aren't giving you 20,000 to go buy down your rate, but I am seeing a lot more movement with price adjustment. I'm seeing a lot more movement with people being willing to play ball a little bit. So please don't think that, you're going to come in and either get the best deal ever from the new home builder and nothing from sellers. Sellers are still playing in the game. It's just a little bit of a different game. So just keep that in mind. If you're thinking about selling your home, please reach out. We'd love to list your home. So,
well, why wouldn't they list with you? You have all of this availability to market their house.
Oh my God, tell me more. Anyway, all right. We're going to talk to you guys again. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been too long. It's been too long. I don't speak. I went to Greece and I went to Italy, and I don't speak a lick of either, but I had a damn good time. I was hoping to come on and be like, but I don't know any of the words other than, no, I didn't even learn that either. But that being said, I was going to say thank you in all of those languages, but I absolutely don't know how to say them in any of them. So I'm just going to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm grateful that you got to go out of the country and take a breath and realize how grateful we are for living in America, right? America is a little doom and gloom these days, guys. You can still feel good about it though. When you
even though I went to Ireland, I went to if I ever go missing, I'll be in Ireland.
Yeah.
Okay?
So she almost didn't come back. And I went to Italy and Greece and I loved it, but I still felt proud of living in America, even though things are shitty. I'm going to say it. They're really shitty on the news and the politics are crap. Yeah. I still feel like it was so interesting to feel everyone else say to me how much they wish they could live in America.
You got that a lot?
Every person I met, and I meet everybody wherever I go. Every person I met was just so interested in our world, and I was very blunt and honest about how great and not great it is, but also interested in what it would be like to live here and wants so badly to live here. So grass is always greener. Danke Shane, and I wasn't even there, but that's the only other, gracias. I don't even know.
If you think about it, home ownership isn't really possible in some of those places
it's not,
because it's so expensive.
All right, let's see. John Harris. Hello, my ladies. I'm back, and I'll be back, and I'm waiting. He's in Ohio. All right. Well, hey, John, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. C Pimpin. I always do that when we see him.
Hey, C Pimpin.
Hey, Lila. You girls look so pretty. Thank you. We accidentally matched today.
I know,
that was a weird
thing.
Take
a picture.
I know. Benjamin McGovern, thank you so much for correcting me on my liters versus gallons. Appreciate you. I had a blonde moment. Thanks, my friend.
I wonder if he did that before you.
You remember Ben, right? They bought that house in Henderson.
Ben.
Yeah, I love them. They're awesome. This is John Harris. How long are the average homes sitting on the market in this economy? Great question. I actually have that answer for you. Let me pull up the market report.
Oh, you are prepared. Look at you.
Trying to get my game on here a little bit. I got to learn some of the languages. So the average days on market right now is here we go. Time on the market is 30 days or less. Some of them, it depends really on the price point. So like anything under 400, anything under 500,000, we're seeing probably 30 to 45 days, but really 30 days or less, honestly.
Yeah.
Anything that's above 500, it's going up to the 60 to 65 day mark.
You think it's 500?
That's what it was just on the report that I wasn't able to share, but trust me, this is what I'm thinking. Great question. So, it just depends. Here's what we're seeing with listings. If the house is super updated and beautiful and is actually
it's like model home.
Right. Well, it's like what the pictures actually match what it smells and looks like when you walk through the house, which
smell is the big thing.
Smells a big thing, guys. Just FYI. If it's that, then it's selling pretty quickly and we have no problem. I just listed a house last week that's not super modern updated. It was off the market in one day. So
nice.
the price point was above 500.
Did it smell good too?
It smelled great. I made sure it smelled great. Yeah. So it just depends on price point. It depends on the area of town, but generally we're seeing 30 to 65 days, but really the lower price ones are definitely in that 30-day mark. So it's kind of cool. Let's see. I don't know how to say your name. Zanoletti. May take a wait and save and watch. A better time is coming. Too much uncertainty. Las Vegas real estate is very cyclical and good adjustment is on the horizon. I love your take. I love that. Everybody's got their opinion. We hope there's a good adjustment on the horizon. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Is there a timeline when grants are given? Amber, from good old John.
So there's so many different grants out there. So a lot of times grants will come out at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Like there's one grant right now that just ran out of money, and I'm praying that they have a new one that comes out in January, because that was a really good one for a specific area of town or for a specific city, really. So like usually in January, you'll start seeing a lot. This time, like when things get a little bit scary and there's a lot on the news, you'll find that a lot more grants open up though. So I would keep things on the horizon. And of course, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
But as I see grants raise what they're giving, then I know, that we're running into something different where they're going to start giving out more. So I'm excited to see what's happening. And, we'll be talking about it as soon as they come out.
I so badly want to put up the "show me the money" meme from Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire.
Because when you call us, you better be saying "show me the money, baby," because especially when it comes to like end of December, early January or February, great time to be asking for that money.
Yeah, that's exciting time for grants.
Ben McGovern, good old Ben. Love you, Ben. Miss you. Got to go back out. We haven't been out in a while. I think the easy money is over, but if you have a 5 to 10 year time horizon, now's a great time to buy a house in the best city in the world. That's my boy right there.
Yes.
That's my boy. Alyssa Bird says hi. Hey, Alyssa.
Hey, Alyssa.
All right. We've got David. Hey, I'm moving there in 3 years to Vegas from Staten Island. Hello. I work for the Department of Sanitization in New York City. What do you foresee for the housing market? You will be selling me my house. First of all, thank you so much, David Cohen, for reaching out to us. We love Staten Island. I think that's probably more of a Long Island accent I'm doing. But thank you, David. We appreciate you.
At least you know the difference.
Gosh, 3 years is going to be really hard to tell you what's going on. It's
hard to see 6 months.
It's hard to see 6 days, to be honest with you right now. But here's what I'll tell you, David. I'm super grateful that you trust us enough to reach out and that you're watching and following. I would love to talk with you now if you want to give me a call and we can, click the link in the description or text me. Let's talk. Let's just get to know each other. Let's get each other on, in each other's lives. So we have a built-in relationship. And as we start to learn more, we can keep you posted. That's kind of our goal. Is we don't know. I had your wizard hat somewhere. She is the wizard of loans.
We can definitely figure something out. But it never hurts to run numbers.
Yeah, too. We should maybe look at where you're at now, because there may even be an opportunity for you to invest in Vegas now and let that build equity for you as a second home or whatever, while you have your great job and pension or whatever you have lined up. So we've actually helped a lot of clients who think they're not buying for 5 more years buy earlier and get in and actually make a really good return on that investment. So 3 years from now, my crystal ball is it's a little too foggy to tell you.
It's a little foggy, right?
Yes, there's that. So I hope that answered your question, but please reach out. I'd love to chat with you and say hi, and we'll see where we can go from there. Yeah. When you guys reach out, by the way, it's a no pressure experience ever at all. We just,
and I would hope everybody would say that too, because we just, honestly, just to help you figure out your game plan and help you to see what's possible for the future.
So David also corrected himself saying, I guess my question is, do they think it would be better market to buy in 3 years from now? I'm never a fan of telling you to wait to buy. 99% of the reason of that is because our prices are not going down. They're doing nothing but going up. And even if they're steady now, they're going to go up. That's just the reality. More people are moving here every day. More money is pouring into the city.
Las Vegas is a popular place. And there's so many things that have to play out in order for markets to move either direction. So we would have to be able to really read the future to be able to know what the feds are going to do, what's going to happen in our economy worldwide, with all the stuff. But
even without reading the future, I'm never going to tell you to wait to buy, because again, to your point, we can't see the future, but also waiting has never, in my opinion, never helped anyone, because everybody I talk to, every person I talk to goes, I should have bought 3 years ago. I should have bought 3 years ago. I should have bought 5 years ago. Every person, I remember when this happened, I should have bought then. So it's a land of regret in the future if you don't buy.
Afford it.
Yeah. So when it's right for you, we want you to buy. We're not pressuring you. You can do it in a year. You can do it in 2 years, but we don't know what it's going to look like. But the answer is never wait if you're able to buy now, in my opinion, because you don't know what the future holds. And also, at the end of the day, the city is getting more and more popular by the day. The prices that movie stars are moving here, money is pouring in. New homes are being built. We're growing and booming, and
Vegas is the new place.
I don't want to say we're the new LA, because not a lot of people like LA, but we are growing in a rapid pace, and a lot of that vibe is coming here, which means money, and money brings higher prices of stuff. So get in on it. Get in on while the getting is good. I love it. Jesse says, "Thank you for being so informative." Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse.
Ben says, on the bright side, you no longer have to compete against hedge funds anymore for buyers today. See, did Ben get a copy of our agenda for today's call? Ben, I'm going to put you to work.
Ben, you were on it.
Put you to work, sir. Let's see. Let's see here. Let me see. John Harris, buying now is a dance. Are there more discounts and grant money in building a home versus buying on a pre-owned home? So that's kind of what I was sort of mapping out earlier, John. When you go to a new home and they're offering you the world, buying down your rate and giving you all these incentives, if you have perfect squeaky clean credit and you are the ideal client that anybody would give money to no matter what's going on in the market, sure, that's great and that's wonderful, but it doesn't always outweigh what Amber can maybe pull together when it comes to grants. It just depends on your situation. It's not a blanket answer, because it really does depend on you. If I went to the new home community, I don't even think I would qualify right now for what they're offering. Maybe a small rate buy down, but that might not make up for the free $25,000 I'm getting in a grant if I qualify. Yeah. So it's a hard answer. What do you think?
Well, in grants, they don't specify what type of property you have to buy, whether it's new or resell. You can buy either or. It's just most of the grants have their rate attached to it. So if the builder's offering a buy down, you're going to forego that to take the rate that the grant has.
Right.
So
there's it's not a blanket statement. All the more reason to text me or click the link in the description.
Definitely a good reason.
And we'll talk. Seriously, guys, we don't pressure you. We don't care. You can talk to us now. It doesn't matter when you're moving or even if you're moving. I take calls with people all the time and talk about a variety of scenarios. I mean, from the hardest to the most fun to the wackiest, you name it. And I love it. I love meeting new people, and I love being able to really give you the.
You're such a friendly girl.
I'm just so friendly. Ask all the people on my trip. I made friends with an entire boat of people, and then took over a restaurant when I was in Greece. And I'm very friendly. I had 17 new friends.
You were like, Laci's back.
MJ says, Laci and Amber, we're thinking about moving next summer, next year. I had talked to you last year, but the timing wasn't right for us. When should we talk to you again? I'll be in Vegas mid-October. Now, MJ,
let's
reach
talk
out
today.
My phone number, my personal phone number is right at the bottom, 277-7606, please text me, call me. I'll reach out. We'll set up a little call and we can just get to know each other again, get back to the notes. I'll update what's going on with your situation and get you lined up for next summer. Next summer is going to be here real quick. Trust me when I tell you that.
It will.
Isaac says, thank you for the updated information. Oh, Isaac says, I'm ready to buy a house for 250,000 or townhome and for 250. Well, let's go, Isaac.
Let's talk, Isaac.
Click the link. Let's get C Pimpin says, I have a $450,000 loan on a $600,000 home with 2.5 VA assumable in Northwest Vegas. Thinking about selling. Are you being facetious?
Well, I know a good listing agent.
I know a great listing agent. See, Pimpin. Better call me.
You know what you could do with the VA loan too? You can actually have somebody assume that loan too to get that 2.5 rate.
Oh, what? I didn't even realize that. Okay, that's a marketable thing that you can actually maybe get a little more money for your house on that. Call me. Let's talk. I would love to work on that. That would be a new experience for me to do that.
That'd be fun.
Working with my girl over here. All right. David says, I can't imagine a home in Summerlin or Henderson as expensive as New York City. A one-family Staten Island with a 3-bedroom, 2-bath that needs work is no less than $700,000.
Yeah,
David,
you're right. We're not there.
We're not there. And I pray that we don't ever get there. I really pray, but we don't want to risk it. We don't want to guess and think that it might be. But I'm so grateful, David, again, that you just trust us and you're communicating with us. Let's talk. Seriously, let's get to know each other a little bit. Matt says hi. So many comments today. I'm so excited. Guys, keep it coming. All right. Lila says, Laci really does mean it when she says, let's talk. She called me and is such a delight on the phone. Lila.
Oh, Lila. That's awesome.
I'll pay you later. I'll send you some cash. Let's see what else we've got. Oh, so sweet. Thank you. Your accent was dead on, by the way. What? David said my Staten Island accent.
Staten Island accent.
I'm very good at Staten Island. Very good. I have a character. Her name is Marilyn Bernstein. She loves Las Vegas and she's from Staten Island. Anyway, thank you for the compliment, David. Silver Lining AK saying hi from Alaska from Brittany and John. Hey, how are you? We've been working with you both, ladies, and you rock. Thanks for the update. Thank you. Good to see you guys. Can't wait to see you in person. Yes. Yeah. Nolans de Vegas says, missed you last week. May have to put my 2 weeks in after finding an apartment. Finding employers that will let you wrap things up when the move is really hard to find. And I agree. And actually, I'm glad you brought that up.
Because it is hard.
When I do phone calls with people, sorry to interrupt you. When I do phone calls with people, that's one of the things I try to help people really think about is, get that job lined up. Make sure you pre-negotiate time to get your butt here because it is really, really difficult and it adds extra stress.
Well, and I think employers might have been a little bit damaged a little bit. Like people taking jobs and be like, never mind, I don't want to come to Vegas anymore. So then they have to go searching again. So that's why they do that.
Sometimes you can leverage if you're working with us to buy a home here in the process of, because you have to get a job here, you have to have a job letter, there's a whole thing, or you have to be remote. Sometimes you can leverage that we're in the process of looking for homes as a part of making your new home or your new job boss or whatever feel better and believe that you're actually coming. So let us be a part of that process. Let us talk with you and give you letters or whatever we need to do to prove that you're actually really serious about it, because that can maybe help with the process. But really good point. I love that. Okay, scooching on down here. Oh, Mark says we
look at all you guys.
Keep drinking that green tea. It's good for you. Thanks, Mark. Good eye. Jesus, you got a real good one. Anthony said, let's just be honest. The American dream isn't what it once was, or I'm just poor. Anthony, boo-boo.
Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope.
Listen. Yeah, you go ahead.
We're not the girls that are good. We are always about hope. There's always, because the thing about it is we're always progressing. We're always moving, especially Vegas is. So it's not too late. Let's get you in.
Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, we're really, really excited about keeping people like you, my friend, Anthony, from getting into that mindset of, oh, I'm just poor, that the dream is over. Let's talk. Even if the dream is 5 years from now, that's still a dream, right? There's still light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm just super, super grateful that you're at least watching us. That means you haven't lost hope, or that you just really like our personalities. I don't know, whatever. But either way, keep watching. Don't lose hope and stay tuned to what we're saying. We promise we'll be here for you. We'll get you out of that mindset. You're just in a rut. And the country feels like it's in a rut a little bit right now, just with all this weirdness in the air and the inflation.
It's a good time to not listen.
Blinders and earmuffs. That's what I do most of the time. It seems
like there's a lot of propaganda out there. Just don't listen.
Blinders and earmuffs, which is why I did not learn any languages on my trip.
There you go.
Lila says, oh, when you dropped your phone down the elevator shaft. Oh yeah. We won't talk about that. You don't need to be calling me out. No, we're not talking about it.
Story?
Okay, I'll do this quick story. So I was living in a high rise and they had, the gap in the elevator, right? Where you step over to get off the floor.
Oh, you dropped it in the middle of that?
Listen, someone knocked it out of my hand and it went down the elevator shaft, 12 floors. Ding, 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 ding. The phone survived.
It didn't even crack?
It had a exploded battery that I had to have replaced, but it survived and worked for a week before.
How
Thanks
long
for the
ago was
reminder,
that?
Lila. Don't ask how long ago it was or how many times it happened. Okay, we're not going to talk about it. Anyway, super, super grateful that you guys tuned in. So grateful for your time today. I felt like I was chatty Cathy, but I missed you guys.
It's because we've needed to hear from Laci again. It's been a long time.
I came back revving to go. There is hope. There is no reason for you to lose any idea that you could maybe move to Vegas or be a homeowner, whether you live here already or you're just visiting as a pretend local from time to time. We really, really do care about your future here. We do not want people who don't like Vegas moving here. And we do not want people who have a bad experience moving here because that just carries negative energy. So allow us to be a part of your journey from this point forward. Please reach out, text me, call me. Click the link in the description. I'm playing catch up from being gone, but I promise we'll get in touch this week. And Amber is always available as well. We're really, really excited about what the future holds. It feels doom and gloom, but there's a reason we never lose hope, because us never losing hope has been proven right multiple times.
There's always light. Nothing can be complete darkness. There's always light. So that's what our job is to find that light.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to give one last question because it's a great question to John. Can you pay for 1 year rent up front in Vegas? In New York, they don't really have that option. Yes, you can. You will be required to possibly show and prove that you have more than that in the bank so that they don't think you're at the end of the year, you're homeless and you're a squatter or whatever. There's a little bit of that. I am also partnered with Elysian Properties here in Las Vegas now. We don't really do apartments as realtors. It's just not a thing. So if you guys are thinking about moving to Vegas and you think you're going to need an apartment, call me. Let me talk to you about what they're offering. They do special deals for me and my clients, but they also are a really good kind of in between. If you can't buy yet or you're waiting to look and learn about the city, all the things that a lot of you say to me when you call, I don't know about the areas yet. I'm just going to rent for a year. Let me at least help you and guide you in that way. Finding rental homes right now is not fun and not easy and not honestly not something that we're really even taking part in because it is kind of a shit.
Not that many of them.
It's not that many and it's kind of a shit show and they're being very strict with what their approvals are and they're not letting pets and it's just really hard. The apartment complexes around town are being a little bit more lenient still. And
nice.
And Elysian is a luxury, awesome experience.
Yeah, they always have the nice ones.
Oh my God, it's freaking amazing. Yeah. So I'm going to be doing videos about that, but just know that you can pay rent for a year in advance. A lot of people are choosing to do that if they have savings but haven't figured out the job thing when they get here. So they'll let you, they just might ask you to do a little bit more of a deposit or make you showcase that you have more than that.
So they're really working with people.
They're working with people. So listen,
good to know.
There's inventory in that world. So let me know how I can help you.
Do they do short-term ones too?
Sometimes they do, depends on the community. And and you might pay a little bit more, but that's what we try to talk our clients into. We say, hey, if you're thinking about renting, don't sign a year lease if they don't make you. Sign a 6-month and let's start looking for a house and then we'll get you, or a 3-month or whatever. So it depends, but we're wheeling and dealing. We're doing what we can to partner with people here, just like she's doing with the grant programs. I'm doing with, different opportunities for housing to help you guys get your asses here. It's time. Let's go. Okay, that's it. Thank you for joining us today, guys. Click the link in the description. Cannot wait to come back on again next week. Tune in next week, same time, same place, right?
Yep, same time, same place. We're going to be excited to see you.
We're so excited.
We're going to look for another blonde moment.
I'm going to learn an Italian word and a Greek word by next week.
Oh, I love it.